Right. So this is about the Gosu because in the previous class I discussed about what Gosu is all about and how different Gosu when we are working on the application, because Gosu is a programming language generally we will be using for this Guidewire application. So these are the different flows. Like write down the flows, I'll explain you one by one. Okay. The first one about the Gosu source code.
Okay.
The first point number one. Okay.
Yes.
Writing the Gosu source code. Writing the Gosu source code will be writing the Gosu source code will be
Okay.
using an extension called .gs. Will be using an extension called .gs, because in the previous session I told you, because whenever we are working on the Gosu programming, whatever the Gosu files that we see it in the developer studio, which is will be ended with .gs files and all that. Okay. Point number one. Second point. These are having uh, type inferences. These are having type inferences
Okay.
where it reduces the length of the code. It reduces the length of the code in the first point only. Okay, whatever you are writing, it reduces
Yes.
the length
Yes.
of the code and also required and also require fewer lines and also required fewer lines
Mm.
to accomplish fewer lines to accomplish the same task as Java. The same task as Java.
Yes.
Okay. In the first point only, whatever I'm explaining, everything will be sub points. Okay. Second point, I'll go later.
Yes.
In that sub point, one more point. This syntax has expressive and concise. This syntax has expressive and concise.
Okay.
Expressive as well as concise. Right. So Gosu source code is basically ended it with star.gs files, as I already told you. Right. So it's a Gosu file where the type references at the same time, whatever the syntaxes that we are working on, everything will be concise and very expressive. Right. This is the first one. Second, Gosu compiler. These Gosu compilers validate the source code and parsers. Validate the source code and parsers. Validate the source code and parsers.
Yes.
Validate the source code and parsers. Second point, in the second point, it translates Gosu to Java bytecode. It translates Gosu to Java bytecode, which are class files. Which are class files.
Okay.
And also continuation write down in that. And also
Okay.
we have and also we have type checking and optimization. And also we have type checking and optimization. Type checking and
Yes.
optimization. Okay. Third point. Gosu executes on Java virtual machine. In the last session, I told you the same point, but again, I'm repeating in a different sense. Gosu executes on Java virtual machine. Gosu executes on Java virtual machine
Yes.
along with along with bytecode interpreted and compiled. Along with bytecode interpreted and compiled. For this, comma continuation. For this
Okay.
goes to runtime libraries. For this goes to runtime libraries will be installed. Goes to runtime libraries will be installed.
Yes.
Okay. Fourth point. Uh, when we develop Gosu, it applies it applies business rules. It applies business rules and domain logic. It applies business rules and domain logic, which will be
Oh,
which will be
okay.
which will be an object-oriented style of functioning, which will be an object-oriented style of functioning, which will be
Style of
object-oriented style of functioning,
functioning. Okay.
which will be an object-oriented style of functioning. Object-oriented style of functioning.
Yes.
Uh, in that fourth, next point, uh, this application will be integrated with this application will be integrated with Guidewire framework. Guidewire
Fine.
framework.
Yes.
Then next, fifth point. It has it has full Java interoperability. It has full Java interoperability.
Okay.
Full Java interoperability. Which has which has which has a seamless calls to Java libraries. Which has a seamless calls to Java libraries.
Yes.
Next point, under fifth one, next point. Gosu types are mapped to Java types. Gosu types are mapped to Java types. Gosu types are mapped to Java types. Sixth point. Guidewire has data types. Data types I already told you, okay? Whatever the different data types. If you remember in the previous sessions, I told you. Logical data model, all that stuff. You know, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
data models I told you and data types also. But I'll repeat again data types and all later on, whenever I'm working.
Okay.
It's just Guidewire data types,
Okay.
which can has a provision, which has a provision otherwise, which has a provision of query, of query, and also update query and also update persistence layer, persistence, persistence layer, and also it manages and also it manages
Okay.
domain object lifecycle, domain object lifecycle, domain object lifecycle.
Yes.
I'm done writing. Clear?
Yeah.
Right. Domain object lifecycle. Next, workflows and integrations. Workflows and integrations. Seventh point. Uh, Guidewire orchestrate workflows, workflows, and also integrate with integrate with external systems, external systems, along with along with plugin architecture, along with plugin architecture and web services, along with plugin architecture and web services. Next point, eighth point, it delivers business functionality. It delivers business functionality
Okay.
and also policy and claim management, policy claim and billing management also, policy claim and billing management, where it generates where it generates user interfaces and reports. Where it generates user interfaces and reports. User interfaces and reports. Intent writing clear? So these are some of
Yes.
the examples. I'll give you these examples later. Now, right? So these are the major ones. Now, when we let me detail again. Okay. First of all, when we are working
Yep.
on this Gosu programming, the first one is source code, point number one, because whatever the source code that we generate in Gosu as a programming language, which will be an extension of .gs. Okay, .gs files will be have, which is having some type inferences. At the same time, the expressive syntaxes, everything will be there. At the same time, we can also validate the source code and parsers, followed by translating Gosu to Java bytecodes, right? So type checking optimizations, everything can be done under the Gosu part. Next, Gosu will runs on the Java virtual machine because, as I already told you, if someone knows about Java, so it's more or less like Java, but syntax level differences you can find. But end of the day, that's more or less like C. So Java virtual machine only. And even whatever the runtime libraries that we have installed on Gosu is also more or less like Java only. But when we are working on the development front, it's important for us to understand about the business rules. What are the different business rules that we have? Because examples I already mentioned, because couple of examples we have done in our previous sessions. On the functional side, if
Yes.
you remember, right? So different
Right.
business
Right.
rules. Like say high risk driver we have identified. At the same time, high risk vehicles, right? So they're based upon the demographic or geographical condition, property details are added. So different conditions where we have to apply different business rules to the existing application. That is something which is essentially required when we are working on this. At the same time, it's also an object-oriented kind of OOP, object-oriented kind of principle, which can be integrated with Guidewire framework, etc. All these things will be comes under the application logic, all that. Next, Java goes to an as well as integration, where we have Java interoperability. At the same time, it also calls to different Java libraries. At the same time, it also goes to types, whatever the map to Java types, everything can be done. Including whenever we are working on the data is concerned, data model is created, data model configuration has to be made by considering different data types we have. So integer, right? So different data types that we have, including different data models that we are having. So where we can manage the object life cycles, etc. Everything can be done. At the same time, workflow is a common uh, for any business activity, right? So any policy creations we do, right? So any claims billing. So work integrates with the external systems. So that we are using RESTful API. So wherein we have different plugin architectures and web services wherein we will be using it. Next, it also delivers the business functionality. That's what we have done under the user interface, either right from the policy creations, cancellations, reinstatements, right? So everything can be done. At the same time, we can update subsequent business rules to the application so that based on the instructions given to the system, application will be behaved accordingly. So this is a overall understanding over the Gosu programming. One must be good and one must be familiar with. Understood? Got it? You're clear?
Yes.